All right, so in our detail controller, we've managed to get most of the important information up, but we're missing two very obvious data points. There is no indication of the contact's name or their profile picture. This is a silly omission because if it weren't for this email address giving us some clue as to who it is, we would have no idea which contact we're looking at. So let's add that information in. Now, one way we could go about it is to add another section up at the top here with a profile picture and name, but we want it to be pretty obvious. The actual Contacts app on our iPhones displays it top and center, seemingly above the table view. So how does it do this? There are three ways that we can achieve that look. The first two are possible within the scope of this course. Every table view has a property named Table Header View that takes an instance of UI view to display. This accessory view is displayed above the table, right over here somewhere, and since it's a regular view, we can add any number of subviews to display that we want. So that's option one. Option two is to use section header views. Now, every table view section has a header and a footer view that we can again use to display content. So header goes above, footer goes right below. Typically, this is used to display additional information about a particular section. Going this route would mean providing implementations for a couple methods in the UI table view delegate protocol. The information we want to show, profile picture and name, aren't related to any of these existing sections, so it doesn't make sense to add it as a header view. Option 3 really isn't an option here, but I want to throw it out anyway. Now, we've used table views in conjunction with a UI table view controller in this app, which is the usual way to use this. So here we have a table view controller that has an embedded table view. At the end of the day, though, UI table view is simply a specialized view. It inherits from UI scroll view, which inherits from UI view. This means that in a standard view controller, we can display a view up at the top with a name and profile picture, and below that, we can insert a table view like a normal view to display the rest of the contact information. In fact, if you search for table view, you'll notice that you both have the controller and a regular view as well. So let's go with option 1. This is pretty easy to do because you can actually implement it in a storyboard scene. So drag out a view from the object library. I always find it easier to type UI view to get it to come up over here. And then insert it at the very top of the table view. Now this is a bit tricky and you want to move it around till you get this thin blue line. And then, mistake, drop it. So drop it at the thin blue line. There we go. Now, unlike standard view stuff, we're not going to add any constraints to position this header view. Instead, it just occupies that full space and we can modify the height if we want to. So we're going to set the height explicitly and the table view is going to stick to using that height. Now this is the view right here. You can't really differentiate between that and the row, but we'll make some changes in a second. So if it's easier, you can select it in the document outline here. So it's right here as view. And in the size inspector, we're going to change the height from 44 to 200 points. We're also going to fake it a bit and make it look like this is part of the table view itself. And we're going to do that by changing the background color to match the table view's background color exactly. So select the view again, and in the attributes inspector, go to color, background color, and here there's a special color called group table view background color. And when you select that, look at that, it looks like part of the table view. From here, it's all standard stuff. Let's next add an image view, drag and drop. And we've added this as a regular subview, so now we're going to set a few constraints to position it inside this header view that we added. So we'll keep the height and width fixed at 100 points each. So add those constraints. We're going to center it horizontally. And then I want to space it 32 points from the top. Now I'm going to hit update frames to get that into position. There we go. Let's also add a label for the name. So look for a label, drag it out. Let's change the text to John Doe. We're going to give it a system bold style of 22 points. And then we're going to center align this. We're going to make sure we can see that, okay? We want to horizontally center it in the view and set it 16 points from the bottom of the image view. Now that we have these views, all that's left to do is create outlets and assign the information stored in the contact instance. So make some room, switch to the standard editor, and we'll add these to the top. So we'll call this one profile view, and we'll call this the name label. And now down in the configure view method, we'll add the configuration code, and we'll just keep it all in one place. So the top will say profile view.image equal contact.image, and then name label.text equal, and we're going to use the contact's full name. So we'll have to use string interpolation and get the contact's first name and the contact's last name together. Let's run the app and look at that beautiful detail page. It looks nice and works perfectly. Okay, so the important point here is to introduce you to the concept of table view headers. Now you know they exist, so if you need to display some information at the top of the table, you know what to use. Okay, on to the next topic.